I'm heading to one of the nation's fastest growing cities and one of its most popular destinations, Las Vegas. Each year, this city of 2 million has to move a rotating cast of 36 million visitors through its streets. Today, the National Finals Rodeo is coming to town, which means extra traffic pushing already crowded streets to their limit. Instead of building new roads as they do in Dallas, Nevada's transportation specialists are using technology to make the most of the ones they have.
We're taking it to a place that we call the fishbowl.
Jacob Snow is one of Nevada's transportation experts.
Wow, this is impressive. You know, it really looks like we got some real rocket science going on here, and we actually do. It's a very complex system of hardware and software that we can monitor everything that's going on at the major intersections and the major traffic points in the Las Vegas Valley.
And are these active 24 hours a day?
It's a 24-hour town. We've got to monitor traffic 24 hours a day.
For all this rocket science, their most powerful tool is a device we often take for granted: the old, reliable traffic light.
We're doing something that most other places in this country haven't tried, and that's adaptive traffic signal control. If we get a lot of traffic on one particular direction or in one particular corridor, we need to make changes on the fly so we can distribute the traffic more efficiently. It's really a Big Brother type approach.
Hundreds of cameras feed real-time traffic data to the fishbowl, where staff can adjust 1,250 traffic signals to keep the roads moving.
So you're not adding capacity by building new roads, you're just making the existing system smarter.
That's correct. We can get about 20% additional capacity by implementing systems like this, and for 1/100th of the cost of a freeway or a roadway expansion.
And it's not only cameras monitoring the action. As a Saturday night rush hour begins, I'm heading out to the field with one of Nevada's road managers, Chuck Leland, to see how he solves problems on the front lines.
We do have some traffic backed up over there.
Tens of thousands of rodeo fans are on their way to the stadium.
That's the rodeo. Okay. It's zoo time.
To get all those cowboys and cowgirls to the stadium, Chuck needs to make sure that each one of the city's busy intersections gets just the right amount of what he calls green time.
I am a little concerned about Swenson.
Why?
That's a pretty long line of traffic back there. So
what are you going to do about that?
Okay, what we're seeing is a lot of empty roadway out here. We're going to steal a little green time from the crews, and we're going to try and give it over here.
That's a really interesting way to think about it. I never thought of traffic that way, but you're actually thinking of green time as like a scarce resource, a finite resource, and you're trying to allocate it in the most efficient way possible.
That's exactly what we do. Hey, Kevin. It's Chuck. What we need is at Paradise.
Chuck calls a fishbowl to order up a new light pattern.
Southbound on Paradise. Let's try and hold that one green as long as we can.
Okay, got it. I'll be downloading it in just a second.
There's just no way you can get everybody green. It's not going to happen. So the best we can do is, if you do have to stop here, I want to get you as many lights down the street as I can before I have to stop you again.
Light by light, intersection by intersection, Chuck stays one step ahead of gridlock and gets everyone to the rodeo.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to ride in the city of lights and cowboys. Ouch! Ouch! Whoop it up a little with him. Come on!
The party's over, and I'm leaving Las Vegas. And whom do I see at the airport but that veteran road warrior, Dean Burry?
Hey, Yule, what are you doing here?
passing through. What are you doing here?
I'm flying back home. I'm going to Houston. I got a flight in about half an hour.
All right, well, don't keep you. Good luck.
Dean, like most of us, depends on a transportation system that's being pushed to its limits. And those limits are put to the test every day on the streets of my last stop, Los Angeles. When it comes to our transportation triumphs and failures, it's the ultimate example.
LA has more cars than any other county in America, 12 million of them. It's a vast fleet that can move us to every corner of the county. It's also 12 million reasons why we might not get there on time.
Unlike Las Vegas, LA doesn't have roads smart enough to move all this traffic. And unlike Dallas, there's no room here to build new freeways. It's one more system limited by plans made in another era. 100 years ago, most people in Los Angeles traveled by streetcar, and they had the largest urban rail network in the world. Then in the 1940s, the city abandoned streetcars and began an unprecedented freeway building frenzy. This set of aerial surveys shows how freeways were designed to cut through neighborhoods. That prompted activists to fight back and block construction of new roads. As a result, LA was left with the worst of both worlds: devastated neighborhoods and an incomplete freeway system. This original freeway plan promised an additional 1,500 miles of road. And here's what was actually built: just 918 extra miles. And the city has had to deal with that shortfall. Every driver in LA experiences 64 hours of delays on average every year. Nearly 3 entire days spent stuck in traffic. One man who has spent his life soaring high above it all can offer unique insights into the city's complex relationship with its cars.
This is the way to get around LA.
We're probably going to cruise at about 115 miles per hour, which is certainly better than what we're looking at down below us on the I-5 freeway, where they're inching along at probably 3 miles per hour.
Right.
Hey, listen, let me just take a break here. I've got a report coming up on the station. Well, once again, we wanted to tell you about that sig alert up on the 210.
Commander Chuck Street is the city's last radio traffic reporter who still pilots a helicopter to hunt down bottlenecks.
And so far, the eastbound 210 freeway is backed up to the 118. You know, I've been up here doing a traffic watch over Los Angeles for 27 years.
Have you seen a lot of changes in traffic?
Of course, the traffic is worse, a lot more volume. Rush hour starts earlier, lasts longer. It starts out at some of the freeways coming in from the east at 5 a.m.
Wow.
And it probably goes until about 8 p.m.
So calling it rush hour is sort of a misnomer. It's more like rush day.
Yeah, even the word rush I don't think is appropriate. For some reason here in Southern California, commuters are really independent souls. And they really like having that freedom. But also, I think that an automobile is kind of a statement about them and who they are, or at least who they think they are. It's part of their identity, really.
What do you think is going to happen over time?
Well, I think the freeways will get so slow where a lot of people will just decide it's not worth the grief and the stress. So hopefully they will start embracing mass transit.
A revival of its mass transit system might be LA's best hope to keep the city moving. So the city is now investing in a dozen projects like this one. You're looking at an old streetcar route that was paved over years ago, and now it's being reclaimed for a new light rail line. Infrastructure's cycle of life. But these projects are big and expensive. And it's hard to imagine the people of Los Angeles giving up their deep-rooted car culture.
LA's endless tangle of roads and freeways. Another system at the breaking point. Like many other transportation networks, there are plenty of ideas on how to fix this. But the question is, will we?
At every stage of our history, we have answered the challenge of how to connect a country and move a nation. Today, we're at another crossroads. Technology offers new solutions, but to improve our system, we'll need to invest a lot of money and change old habits.
Wow.
This week, as a nation, we'll drive 60 billion miles. Traffic will make 3 million of us late for work. 22,000 freight cars will pass through the double hump on their way to every corner of the country, though they'll only average 10 miles per hour. Dean Bury will earn another 5,000 frequent flyer miles, and he'll have a lot of company in the air. 1/4 of all the flights in the world will take off or land in the United States, and in the process, airlines will lose 45,000 pieces of luggage. The largest transportation network on Earth has its weak spots, and it's definitely showing its age. But we've managed to keep it up and running, and for the most part, it still gets us where we want to go. As for me, my journey across the country is about to end right where it started. I'm heading back to New York on the red eye. Just one more American on the move. America Revealed is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.